Welcome to week 1 of the NFL preseason, where the rookies of today hope to become the stars of tomorrow. It's the Texans and the football team, and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
We are technically 5 miles east of Washington, D.C., and that's where you find this place, FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. They love their football in this part of the country, and this crowd is ready to go as their guys will match up with the Houston Texans. Brandon Gaudin alongside the one and only Charles Davis. And CD, lots of compelling storylines in a game like this. Let's take a look at some of the numbers for these two offenses.
And I'm glad you brought up the numbers, because sometimes it's hard to quantify a team's performance solely by judging the numbers. But I think with these two teams, what you see is a pretty accurate representation of who they are.
So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback. And his first pass is incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Back to throw. Chambers. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down.
A deep ball down that right sideline, and he made sure that he put it where either his guy was going to catch it or no one was.
So 2 incompletions have led him to an early 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Chambers. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away. Taken right around the 44. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. First carry now for David Montgomery. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Coming right, this is Montgomery on the toss. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. So, Charles, you talk about this head coach, and let's face it, this season certainly has not gone the way many had expected or at least hoped. And I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier this week.
Yeah, we certainly did, didn't we? Because, let's face it, he's heard the whispers, and they're growing louder that he shouldn't be around next year. He essentially stormed out of that meeting you just referenced with the reporters. How did he end it? We're done here. Well, that's a function of losing and all the pressure that's on him. You hear about pressure creating diamonds? In this case, it's bursting the pipes of the coach.
On 1st and 10, Watson. And this will be caught by his big wide receiver. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Now a 1st down throw, Watson. Oh, I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Watson going to keep it again. A strong running. And Watson has enough for the first down yardage as he slides to the turf.
Well, when you've got a quarterback like this dead to rights, you got to make sure to wrap up. Instead, though, he breaks free and off he goes.
Yeah, this is great work by a quarterback here. He's doing anything he can to avoid taking a square hit. I admire the way he worked his way through the initial contact and then continued downfield for good yardage.
To throw is Watson. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Austin Hooper there to make the grab. And the Texans have taken the early lead. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down, score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out.
Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted.
Picked off by Cameron Curl.
And nothing but daylight ahead. He's at the 30. Well, that was almost a 4-point swing. The interception, if he had returned it all the way, would have been 2 for them, but just a little bit shy.
And when it's a play like that, you're exactly right with the math. But don't you feel like it would have counted for more if they found their way all the way back to the end zone and gotten the 2? That changes the whole momentum, doesn't it?
No return here for Clay Brooks, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2.
And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw. Chambers.
Throw right side, taken in by Gibson.
And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
Well, sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play. The first carry for the Memphis man, Antonio Gibson.
And he's brought down, but not before picking up the first with a very effective stiff arm.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 1st and 10, Chambers. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the first down.
Here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Gibson here running out of the gun.
And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. They'll go. It's Gibson. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. Washington goes for it, but it does not pan out. And this Texans defense stands tall. So their first drive of the game already trailing, having given up points. A little surprised that they went for it, right?
Maybe the big guy, the head coach, senses this is going to be a shootout type of a game, that they've got to match them point for point.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. But I think a Texan player was able to get his hands on it, and they will indeed hold on to the ball and the possession.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24.
And he will bring this one back. It is a pick six for a Washington touchdown.
Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Here's Tucker McCann now for the PAT.
It's up and good, so they go the conservative route instead, and it gets them a 7-6 lead here in the opening quarter. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Houston set to take over.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 21.
He'll begin by dropping it off to Montgomery.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
2nd and 8.
From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. Takes this to the 27, give him 4 yards.
You know, if following up on this head coach and the pressure that he is under, CD, I want to switch it to you because you've been on winning teams, but I know you've been in similar situations too where things just are not going well. How do you approach that as a player?
It's a tough approach, Brandon, because you actually have to do the opposite of what you would think. You know, in your mind, you're thinking, I redouble my efforts, I go harder. In a sense, you have to back off a little bit. You have to do a little bit less. Do what you're supposed to do, but don't take on the pressures of doing more and trying to do your teammates' jobs as well. If you do that, that's really going to lead you to more issues.
Let's go. Do it.
Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big play there out of the running game. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. Washington on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Huntley to throw. This one incomplete. Almost picked off by the rookie, but he couldn't quite look it in. And now it's 4th down.
I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to keep points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT.
McCann's kick up and good.
And they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6.
So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the two teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled into 20. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans.
And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Buying time to his left. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1.
The brother blitzed that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir, able to turn that into a positive gain.
Yeah, this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
And now on 4th and 1, it's a fake. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool this defense.
And Washington will take control of the football in great field position. And there are times to run that fake, and there are times to not run it, and this, without question, would fall in the latter category.
Well, I don't know about without question, partner. I think we should look at the analytics on this one because, oh, yeah, the analytics say, yeah, without question. You should have gone ahead and punted the football because now, not only did you not get it, and you really have no chance to, what a short field that you turn the ball over to the other offense.
To throw, Huntley.
Wide open receiver, complete. Touchdown! A 16-yard touchdown.
And Washington going to add on to their lead. Extra point by McCann, up and good.
And that pushes the lead up to 11. And that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt.
He will return this from deep in.
And all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responding.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. Another try after the 1st down sack. Garoppolo, and he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
There's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. That's caught by his tight end, Foster Moreau. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
That catch good for only a couple.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing,
and it looked like he got the feet down, did he? Yes, it's a catch. A big play that time through the air. 36 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. On play action, now Garoppolo. He'll buy some time right. And he gets this inside the 10 to the 9. It's also a gain of 9.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Throwing again on second down. Garoppolo, and this is incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
The Texans on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up.
And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning.
They'll run with Carter. And he goes backwards on this one. Losing yardage to the 7. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Well, I know defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited about what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on 2nd and 3rd down here.
On 2nd and goal. Garoppolo. He's got it. Touchdown, Texans.
Michael Carter.
A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans have cut it to within a score. Now Garoppolo will lead his guys up to go for the 2-point try. Garoppolo looking to throw for it. Complete at the 1. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. And I guess that makes up for the earlier missed 2-point try here to get him to 14.
Yeah, that aggressiveness, it reminds me a lot of when basketball first adopted the 3-point shot. And people were starting to realize that 3 for 2 was really starting to work for them. In this case now, maybe the 2 for 1 is coming into play in the NFL.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offensive sails because they had it going pretty good last time, too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't.
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both of these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On third down, Yates, and they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. Looking to throw again on second down. Garoppolo. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Looking to throw, Garoppolo. That's complete to Moreau, the tight end. And they'll try to get the spike off, but they won't do it in time. And that will end this first half. So we have reached halftime in our, rough crowd. No football for 6 months. Already we're skipping halftime. All right, let's get right back to the action. We're set for quarter 3.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. And from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. And the Texans getting ready to go here to begin the third quarter. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half. So make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps. But above all, play your game.
Throw right side into the hands of Foster Moreau. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, sometimes the lineman can wander downfield. If you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice game.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away.
A 40-yard punt, give him 3 on the return.
And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. First possession of the second half now for Washington.
And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. For whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
But so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
Gates with a grab.
And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for Washington. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Texans getting set here to take over again on offense.
And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. On play action, it's Garoppolo. Out to the left, that's where the tight end Moreau is. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big play that time on the catch and run.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Garoppolo on first down. That one caught by Carter. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
On 2nd and 12, Garoppolo. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Garoppolo. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and that will tie things at 17 all. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them. Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed. And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Now a handoff here to his running back. And some space here. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 61 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Huntley. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. They couldn't contain Deshaun Hand that time as he gets home for the sack. So back at the midfield stripe now, they'll come up 2nd and long. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. He'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down. He seemed to have a reasonable amount of time in the pocket, but he couldn't get rid of the football, and the end result, Charles, him on the ground.
Yeah, he's got to keep an internal clock to go along with his offensive line. When you're talking about 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's a reasonable amount of time to expect to deliver the ball downfield. So great to try and complete a pass, but it's equally important to know when to throw the football away, too. Are we on the same page here, partner? Because I think they had the right idea. Just take what you can get on 3rd and forever.
Yeah, in real life, I'd say yes. It's just these video games are tempting. You want to go downfield with it.
I like the way you've evolved. You know, you've learned how to play it the Madden way.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. Forced out to his left. And he'll find Moreau here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big connection on that one. 34 yards.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
Flush to his right. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
Well, you don't expect too many quarterbacks to be adept at breaking away from would-be tacklers, but this is uncommonly good right here as he's able to get away.
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. And now Garoppolo lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. He's going to launch it for Washington. That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big play that time through the air. 36 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down.
And he almost had his second pick of the game. Probably should have. And he's frustrated as it falls incomplete.
On 2nd and 10, Garoppolo. Catch made, it's Moreau. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
A field goal would get them the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on third down. Working from the gun, Garoppolo.
He'll dump this off to Carter, complete.
And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And that'll bring up fourth down. 3 quarters have come and gone. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
A bit of extra pressure now for this one on Joey Slye.
And his kick here is good. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And he doesn't even get this to the 10. He's taken down at the 9. Well, here we go on the next drive for Washington. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game.
Looking sideline, incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. That's complete to Turner. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Looking to throw. Huntley. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
36 yards on the punt with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out comes Houston. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Throwing on first is Garoppolo. And now Garoppolo lost the football.
I'm going to hit you all day.
When that ball popped free, we could hear it all the way up here. Those guys down on the field alerting everyone of the fumble. He's lucky that his offensive mates picked him up and jumped on it.
Yeah, and you have to think to yourself, and I'm sure they've been echoing it on the sideline and into the huddle. Guys, we have the lead. Just take care of the football. Don't make it easier for them to start to make a comeback.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a third down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
The Texans on third down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This time it's 3rd and 3. Garoppolo looks to throw. That's caught. It's James Washington. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A big connection on that one. 37 yards.
Well, dialing up that play call certainly meant that he grabbed a little extra shot of courage on that one, because normally on 3rd and short, you're just trying to move the sticks, get the ball just past that line of scrimmage. Instead, they take the big shot downfield, and it pays off.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Garoppolo.
A throw to the flat for Carter.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. So the completion good for just 3. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a one-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the points. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now Garoppolo. This is caught. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And that will force a turnover on downs. So that's a decision that could loom pretty large here. They go for it on 4th down, but come up empty.
But I actually like the call, and the reason? It shows me a head coach has faith in his team overall. First on the offensive side, thinking they can pick it up, but also knowing that he has faith in his defense that if they don't, they'll go out there and stop him. I like the confidence he showed.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. To throw from his end zone. Huntley, throw left side, complete. That's Turner. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. Now, the 2 points, that's not totally critical at this point. Still a one-score game, but they do have to give away the football with no guarantees they're going to get it back.
Yeah, or at least if they get it back, will they have any time to do anything with it? So they've got to send their defense out there and say, guys, we got to have it right now. Save some time for us.
James Washington making his way back out towards the huddle. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that...
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 28. Well, this D, particularly the secondary, has been picked apart at points here tonight. They finally, though, get to the quarterback, get a pick.
And we know this about him. He loves night games, loves the spotlight, loves being the center of attention. I will bet you that he ran off the field almost chuckling to himself. They finally got one. They finally got me.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Huntley to throw.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
To throw, Huntley.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
Every now and then I can speak from experience because I do know as a defender it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the keeper and it'll lead to a 2nd down. Back to throw. Huntley. He finds his man. Complete. It's Yates. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Partner, took a while for him to lock onto a receiver, and he finally found his man coming left to right across the formation. But by the time he got the ball to him, not much of a chance to turn upfield and make anything out of it.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going.
So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and goal with this game still hanging in the balance. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
And this is taken in for a Washington touchdown.
A great effort there. There to make the grab.
And Washington has retaken the lead.
They'll try and throw for it. And he's going to be taken down. It's a sack. And they fail on the try for 2.
Well, that decision to me was all about pulling up the chart. You know, that beautiful chart that tells you when to go for 2, when to go for 1. I do love it. It helps you with your decision-making during heated times. And just look at it right here in this point of the game. Go for 2. Try and make it a field goal difference.
But now just up 1 makes the rest of this 4th quarter a little more interesting.
Yeah, they followed the chart. They just didn't get the 2 points on the board, did they?
Nope. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Now White on the return. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. So Jimmy Garoppolo and the offense down by 1. A minute 40 remaining. You can't say the preseason isn't interesting. This has been great as they come up 1st and 10. To throw, Garoppolo. He's going to let it fly. He's got a man, complete. And all the way down to the 39. A huge play there for Houston. Charles, just a gigantic play right there.
Absolute breakdown defensively, but take no credit away. A huge gain, and that turns things around.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. To throw is Garoppolo. And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete.
Ooh, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
He's got Thompson here, complete. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. An extra man here in the secondary for Washington on 3rd down. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. They'll run with Montgomery. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. One of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
They'll try to run for it with Carter. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Now here's a timeout as they will indeed call it with 5 seconds to go and a chance with a field goal to win the game. One final try now for Garoppolo. And this is going to be caught. It's caught. And they've won the football game.
Might be it right there. I think that's the lucky one, y'all.
Brandon, you know I love boxing, right? You know I love big fights, right? I'd given them the standing 8 count a few times along the way. And look at